So the holidays are over, and I hope everybody had a great Christmas or whatever it is you celebrate. Hope it was enjoyable. I know I had a great time with family and friends. And with that comes a new year. 2020 is fast approaching, and we wanted to start off the new year and kind of the tail end of the current year with a set of cards for all 4 seasons. In this video, we're going to put together our summer card. And it's very simple. It's especially great if you want to send out some thank you cards for maybe some gifts that you received. And of course, these are going to be versatile and useful for pretty much any occasion. You're just going to want to, add your sentiment, a stamp, or you could even do a print and cut, write whatever you want on the inside. Pick one of the 4 gorgeous patterns designed by our art director, Ron, who did a wonderful job on these, kept them nice and simple, like I said. So anyway, I'm blabbing too much here. Let's just get started. So of course, with every card, we've got a card base. Now, this actually we cut using the perforated score marks. And sometimes what I do, if I don't use my score tool, which I typically only use for card bases and card envelopes, I'll take my little vinyl tool, and I will just run it across the little areas that contain the score marks and kind of flatten them out. And then when you do that, when you take a look at it, you don't really see it. Okay, it really flattens it out, and it makes it look as if it was scored with a score tool. Okay, so anyway, obviously it opens up this way. We have one little white piece that's going to go inside here, and of course, it's a separate piece. So if you wanted to, you could do a print and cut or whatever design you want to put in there. So I'm going to begin by gluing that to the inside. It's just a very simple little square that we're putting inside. Okay, I'm going to go easy on the glue here because this is where we're going to be writing, and I don't want it warping or doing anything weird. Okay, so just do your best using the little score marks there as a guide to get it as centered as you can and as even as you can. If it's slightly off, it's not the end of the world. No one's really going to notice. Okay, and it's going to thicken up the card nicely. Okay, so we'll close it up, and the front works like this. Now we've got a nice gold foil here, and then there's just there's this layer here, okay, and then you've got 4 pieces like this. Now if you do it with the same colors that we're doing it, let me just lay these out so you can see kind of what they look like. Okay, this one here is going to go on the card base flat, and then these 2 layers, now you can see how this one's got like nothing in the center. That is the bottom layer. And then this layer here, which you can see the difference here. With this one, you've got these little leaves here. You don't have those there. So that's going to get glued on top of that for that layer. That's going to get glued on flat there. And then the remaining 2 layers, in our case, the white is going to go on top of the green. These are going to get glued together. And then we're going to use some pop dots to raise them up and give this project some dimension. So let's get our foil piece in place. So it's this piece here. And again, it's very simple, very, very simple assembly on this. It shouldn't take long at all. Literally, probably get this done in less than 5 minutes, which is why, especially after all of that winter and holiday crafting that we all have done, these will be a nice breath of fresh air. Very simple and quick, so that you can get into a point where maybe you spent so much time in the craft, or maybe you don't want to go back in there because you want to just do something easy and simple. Well, this is the project for you. And I'm going to get for some reason when I put glue on this foil, it tends to kind of show through a little bit in the form of almost like a bubbling. So I'm going to try to flatten this glue out with my brayer so it's not as pronounced. Now a lot of this is going to be covered up anyway, so it's not a big deal. Okay, so now that we have that, we're going to take these next 2 layers, and we can do one at a time. So what I mean by that is we can glue this on first and then glue this piece on top of it. Doesn't matter. Or we can glue these pieces together and then glue this on. And it doesn't matter which way you do it. I'm just going to glue this to the yellow piece, and then we'll glue this to the top of the actual card here. So again, there's a lot of little details here. So you're gonna wanna try to work quickly and get your glue out to the perimeter, of course, we want it there, and then work the insides in as many little areas as you can. You don't need to hit every single nook and cranny here. It should stay just fine as long as you get glue in as many little places as you can. Okay, so I wouldn't really worry too much about it. And this is a symmetrical design, so it shouldn't matter which way you put it on. I'm kind of looking at the center of the little flower there and using that as my initial guide, and then just kind of nudging things around to ensure that I've got it nice and lined up. And I'm going to use my brayer to really get that to stick, just like that. Okay, so now this piece is going to get glued on like so, just like that. So let's get our glue on this guy here, or this gal. I think summer's, to me, it's a beautiful feminine season, but who knows? Okay, and again, just kind of work the glue into as many little areas as you can without obsessing about getting it into every little section, because if you spend too much time there, it's all going to dry and then nothing's going to stick. Okay, so now I'm kind of looking at these little petals here, and I'm going to try to get those lined up like so. There we go. Kind of give it a little nudge left or right, wherever you need to get it in the right spot. And then I'm going to use my brayer to really get that down nice and even. Spread that glue out. I don't typically use this thing, but it definitely is handy right now. Okay, so there we go. Even that alone is really cool. All right, so the final two layers, we're going to glue these together, and then we're going to use some foam squares to kind of raise them up. All right, so we'll get into some more detail here. So we're going to have to work a little bit quicker. And again, just do your best to make sure that I'm just going to use a series of little dots here in various areas to get this to stick. And then this inside area, just tiny little small dots here and there. Go as small as you can. Okay. And just go with it. It should be good. All right, so let's get this lined up with the, in my case, the green layer. Give it a little nudge wherever you need to make sure it's lined up nicely. And then, again, I'm just going with my brayer here. There we go. Beautiful. And it seems to be holding very well. I'm going to flip this over. Now, I ran out of foam squares, but I had this, this roll of foam tape, and I just kind of cut it up into small little sections. So that's what I'm going to use. Your foam squares should work just fine. And then I'm going to, if necessary, even cut these down even more in little areas where I might need some more support. And I'm going to do my little support test here in a second. I'll show you what I mean by that. Just to make sure that everything is kind of being held up nicely. So I'll flip it over, and then I'll push down in various areas to see where there's too much give, or not too much give, but not a, it's right here. I push down, it's really kind of bending down. If I push down, let me find a good spot. If I push down here, it doesn't give as much. Here, it's really kind of giving, need a little bit of support there. So let me grab my scissors here, and you can literally cut these to size. It doesn't matter which ones you use either. If you have the ones that are already squares, you can cut those as well. I do that all the time. Okay, so let me cut this one even smaller so I can kind of get it more in the center here. Get a little bit of support here, and then maybe one little piece of support here. And let's test that out. That seems to be holding well. All right, and then we just peel off the backing. And all that's really left to do is just get it nice and aligned with the existing design. And it shouldn't really matter which way we do it, I don't think. Well, I guess this one does kind of matter, but we'll get it. Okay, so that's all there. And you can see how you've got these little notches here in these sections. Just make sure that you don't do it this way. It's not going to work that way, obviously. It's only going to work one way. And I'm going to do this like this so that I don't mess it up. Just align it as accurately as you can over the existing design. And once you feel that you have it, just go ahead and push down in the areas that contain the little foam squares. And there's your beautiful card, nice and dimensional. I'm going to finish this off by putting a little rhinestone in the center. And of course, let's see here. Let me grab my little rhinestones and see which one looks best in there. I'm going to go with this little yellow one. And it's time to grab my little pick-me-up tool. Where are you? I actually just mailed out about 5 of these today to some of our prize winners. So congratulations to those of you that won yourself a pick-me-up tool. I'm just going to throw a little dot of glue on here on the back of this rhinestone and pop it right in the center. And I'm going to use my X-Acto to hold it in place while I pull this back. There we go. And just kind of nudge it a little bit and get it centered. There it is. Beautiful. Okay, as I was saying, no Dreaming Tree card would be complete without a matching envelope. So let's put that together. Now I've already taken and pre-folded everything here. Okay, let's start by, and you can see, I'll show you real quick. This is the little scored area here. And if you fold that down flat, I don't know if you can see the little ridges that the score marks create, but if you take a flat tool like this tool that I'm using here and just kind of run it across on both sides, it really flattens it out, and you can't really even tell that it was scored like that. It hides it pretty well. Okay, so we've got this little piece here for the flap, and what that's going to do is it's going to create the nice white back there, and it's going to add a little lip to our flap as well. So let's get our glue onto the flap, like so. Go easy on the glue here. Okay, and then what I like to do is I just kind of drop it and push it up against the little score mark there, making sure that it's centered. And then I will just kind of bring that over and press it down. Okay, just hold that in place for a moment, let that set, and you can see how beautiful that's starting to look. Okay, and then all that's left to do is close up the envelope here with this piece. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the bottom, go very easy on the glue here. I've noticed over the years that when I make envelopes, for some reason, they tend to kind of warp a little bit on these seams. Okay, so you just want to line that up with the bottom, get that nice and lined up, nice and centered. Press that down like that. Give that a second to set all the way in the corner there. Okay, just be patient with that. You can flip it over and you can even roll it from the inside. Make sure that that makes good contact, and then all that's left to do is add glue to the remaining 2 tabs. Get it out to the edge if you can, just like that. And then typically when I mail these, or even when I hand deliver them, I'll just take a little pop dot, not the 3D one, the flat ones, and I'll just throw it on there. Or you can just use a tiny little drop of glue right here, maybe, to hold it. Okay. There we go. Some good contact there. Now, this is not what this tool is intended for, but I find it useful. And that glue is drying up. It's not holding very well. Oh, that worked. Just have to be patient. And of course, do as I say, not as I do. I should probably wait a little bit before I pop the card in here, but I'm not gonna. Just gonna pop it in right now. And there you have your beautiful card ready to go. Very simple. So this is the summer card from our All Seasons card set. Hope you enjoy it. I think it's beautiful. And if you make this or any of the cards from our 4-season cards, we'd love to see them. So head over to our official group on Facebook by doing a search for Dreaming Tree Group, where you can share your work and ask questions and just be inspired or inspire, as I always say. And if you enjoyed this video, please take a moment and hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. As you can see here, just hit 25,000 subscribers. So thank you for that. If you've not already subscribed, please take a moment and do so. So anyway, Happy New Year to you. Hope you enjoy the cards, and I look forward to crafting with you again.